All right, we're back in Blender. I've got one, like, well, no, we'll save that for later. So I'm just gonna hide everything that's here. Get all this junk out of here. And we're gonna make a banana to go in our fruit bowl. The way I'm gonna make the banana may not be the best way to make a banana, but I'm showing a certain technique that probably works better for more complex shapes, but also works for bananas. So we could start with cylinders, or we can start with circles. I'm going to start with circles just for fun, and then we'll try it again with cylinders just to prove that it all works. So I'm just going to go add. I'm going to do a mesh circle. I'm not going to do these. They're a little bit different. I've got to convert them into meshes to do cool things. I'm just going to use a mesh circle, kind of like the guru did with his plates. And then for a banana, that's roughly 5-sided. So there we got our shape, sort of. So I'm going to start with that. We'll go ahead and model it at ridiculous sizes. No, that's super ridiculous. All right, let's at least pull this down to like 0.25. It's only a slightly comically large banana, not a ridiculously large banana. All right, so I'm going to do that. And then we're just going to make some adjustments here. So the first thing I need to do is what we're going to do bridge edge loops. And we used this before when we were like making the backs and of our chairs and stuff like that. But there's just cooler things we can do. And so we're going to do it just so I can teach another technique. So I'm going to take this banana. We're going to have some rounder shapes on it. And we have this 5-pointed thing on it. And all of the edge loops that we need to line up, they need to have the same number of vertices. So I'm planning ahead knowing I'm going to need more vertices and other things, and also that like a super sharp edged banana probably does not look appealing, doesn't look realistic. So I'm going to go tab here, we'll go to vertices, and I'm just going to bevel these vertices. So bevel that, and it's not going to show up right away because by default bevel wants to work on edges. But if I pop over here to vertices, then I've accidentally made some sort of evil pentagram, and we overdid that. So pull that down. Go, and so find, I don't know, 0.3. So I'm rounding the edges here, or the points. So I'm going to 3 segments, which is going to give me 4 vertices on 5 different areas. So we're going to end up at 20, which is kind of good for a round thing that we need later. So bevel, vertices, just in case when you're doing any kind of bevels, make sure your clamp and loop are checked. Otherwise your bevel can like fold in on itself. Then you end up with just really bad messes. What is that, just this TV flickering, or are they all doing it? Okay. The tech in here was fine, then they fixed it for somebody else, and now it's broken for me. So, all right. All right, so I'm gonna pull that down so it's not as rounded, but they're, yeah, so I'm like at 0.02, but whatever. So I've got that, hit enter, or click, make sure that saves. And so we've got a rough shape for a banana. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this. Oh, let me turn those on. So I'll duplicate, and then as I drag up, I'll hit Z so that it only goes on the Z axis. I'm just going to drag that up some. Same thing, I'm just going to pull on the Z axis. And so we could, yeah, we're going to call this the front of the banana. We could do this with 3, or we can do it with 2. I'll leave it here as 2. And I'm going to start making some more shapes. So we've got the bottom of the banana, we got the top of the banana, or the rough banana shape. I'm going to go ahead and shift D and Z, just pull that up a little bit. I've got snapping on, oops, turn that off. And then I'm going to scale this one down. So hit S and just pull that down. Pull it closer. And we're going to do some angling and some other stuff in a little bit and get these all lined up. So far I like this. So same thing, Shift D. As As I pull down, I'll hit Z so it just stays on that one axis. And S to scale it. And we'll go down about there. So what is that? Penta? Is that a pentagon? With 5-ish sides? I know that we've actually got 20. Okay, I'm going to make another circle. Remember how to do this. Nope. Okay, I had something that I did last night and I forgot what it was, so never mind. I'll just make a new circle, so I'm going to add another mesh circle, and not the whole banana is that shape. So up toward the top we get rounder. I'm going to plan ahead and make this 20 vertices to match the 20 I've got now on these, on that circle. And so he's down here. I'll pull him up. And then if I go to my Z perspective view here, and I hit S to scale, and we're kind of going to go down to that. Which is cool, but part of my problem now is I've just got a very straight banana. I've just basically made a 5-sided pencil if I start doing this. So I'm going to pull these over. So the ones on the bottom here I'm going to zoom in on. I may make some more in a little bit. I'm going to move these. I'm going to do G and then move them on the Y. So I'm going to move those this way. And then I'm going to rotate them on X. So just going to kind of pull them like that. And as we bridge these, we're going to make a lot of segments, and it's going to kind of give us our curve. But if you want a very specific curve, you can duplicate this big guy right here and put one in the middle, so we know exactly where the middle is going to be. Depends on how much you want to have control of that. So I think that's good for a start. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this. And then again, I'll hit Z to make sure it just goes up. So there's going to be the rounder part of my stem. And then I'm actually going to duplicate this other bit here. Because stems don't terminate in a nice, clean, round thing. So I'm just going to use this other shape down here, and I'm also to duplicate that. Start dragging it up on the Z. And then I'll rotate that on the X. So it's a little bit of a rough shape here. So I'm just lining up circles, or not quite circles. And then if I grab them all, my move tool's not on, and we'll probably find opportunities here, meaning this will probably end up ugly. We'll have to fix it. So I got them all selected, and then if I hit Control and J, then I have joined those into one circle here. That's all one mesh now, and I'm just going to go ahead and call it banana if I can get the double click to work. And then I'm just going to go through, and I think I don't have anything over the top of each other. It might be able to figure all this out. We'll see. This middle part, I'm going to want to do something special, so I'm just going to grab all of these bits. I'm going to hit Tab, and then go to edge mode, and I just want these edges up here for now. And we'll see if we can do it all at once, or if we've got to go like step by step down the mesh. So same thing we did before: edge, bridge, edge loops, and yeah, it figured out what was what. And so we've got kind of this rough shape now. I can Alt, get off bevel mode here. I can Alt and then click this edge loop, hit F to fill that in. I've at least got a top. Same thing down here. I'm just going to do these by themselves. So I'm going to Alt, click, Shift, Alt, and click, and then I've got both sets of edge loops. And then the hotkeys for this are going to be Control E for edges, and then L for loops. So I've just bridged the edge loops. with Control E and then L. I'm going to Alt-click this and fill that in. We'll probably do something more with that later. And now the fun part, because so far we've just done straight bridges, like one segment, and we're over it. So there we go. I'm going to go Alt-click on this edge loop, Alt-click on this edge loop, Shift Alt-click, or I've just replaced it. And now I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go edge, bridge edge loops, and that is not a very appealing looking banana thus far. But we got our tools open here. I can change the number of cuts up a bunch, and then we start to get some curve. And I definitely should have scaled that bottom bit down. We can do that in a little bit. I can change that number of cuts up, and we've got a rough shape. And by rough, I mean oof, but it's rough. All right, we've got a rough shape. I'm going to go ahead and work with this rather than try to start over. Let me just change this to auto smooth, smooth that out. And I'm going to Alt-click on this edge loop set right here. And that banana just stays fat all the way down to the end, and that's not actually how it works. I'm going to turn proportional editing on. I've got that bottom set of loops selected, and I'm going to hit S and scale it. And we can see my circle of influence there. It's actually kind of good. I can go bigger and go smaller. Looks a lot better like that. Okay. Same to you, buddy. All right. I think I want the nub of this to be a little more prominent. Grab that little bit there, just that face, hit G, and then Z again. Oh, it's not at Z. I wanted to move it on its local Z. Just kidding. Stop, stop. Okay. Turn off proportional editing. Huh, it's weird. Did I hallucinate that? I thought its local Z would be what I wanted, but it doesn't seem to be moving the right way. Okay, its local Z is going a different direction. We'll freehand it, that's fine. We'll just move it with the tool. Just kind of move them out some. And then I'm actually going to bevel this, just to give it a little more form. Here, let me zoom in on this. Here's what I'm talking about. So look how these folded in on themselves. Like our bevel went, wah, and so we want to hit clamp, overlap, and then loop slide together will give us clean geometry and not be too wonky. Yo. So when I just had a hole, I grabbed the loop and hit F to fill. Seems the more I do to this, the more it wants to break. Oh, the clamp is keeping it from doing too much. Okay, well then we don't want to go too far with that. I'm asking it to go a whole 1 meter and the clamp is saying don't. So leave it there. Okay, so get a little more form on the bottom. Let's see what we got going on at the top. I'll bet I could scale the top a little bit too. So I'm going to Alt and click up here. I'm on faces, so I just click a whole bunch of faces. We do edge loops again. So Alt click, zoom in. Trying to decide if I should scale that. Maybe I'll scale that just a little bit and then give it a bevel. So scale just a touch. And then Control B to bevel. Wanting to, fantastic. And then it did. Great, don't do that. So I'm hitting Control B to activate the bevel, and it's just not wanting to do it. So I'm going to have to work with this over here. So we'll go with, there we go. We'll just kind of spread that out. So he kind of rounds that top a little bit. We'll go to like 3. That looks more like a banana and less like a weird weapon. That kind of almost works. You don't want to do something with the top here. This top is too flat. Somebody came in here with a razor sharp machete and cut this banana off the branch. So kind of jagged that up a little bit. You know what? Let's try something. I'm going to grab that face. And then we're going to subdivide it. Hello? Subdividing on the other way. Interesting. Never mind that. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do then, I'll grab that face and I'll triangulate it. So, should be under face. I'm going to triangulate the face, and that's going to get rid of any n-gons, anything more than 3 vertices on a face. Now, let me get that, I'll hit Control decimal here, or Control plus to get more of this. And I'm going to try our old friend randomize. Let's see what this does. Nope. Be ever so careful with that. Okay, we want to clean that top up. So we'll do that. We're going to go with the randomize. It gives us a lot of cool jagginess around the stem here. And then we'll use the opposite of it. Hopefully it'll let me. And I'll just grab the stuff on top that I think got over jagged. Yeah, we ended up some bad geometry here. I'm just grabbing what used to be that nice smooth top. First I said it was too smooth, and now it's too jagged. So it's a classic case of I'm just not happy with anything. All right, and we'll try smooth. Which almost just looks like it's beveling it. Oh, and I missed some in there. Okay, interesting. This kind of works. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. So I'm going to smooth that down. And it took the faces that I had selected and the ones that I, like this should have been part of it. Still looks funky, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. And then just maybe scale it a little bit. Well, we want it ugly, and so we got it. Mission accomplished. It's really funky looking. Now it just looks more like it just ripped directly from the vine instead of razor sharp machete. But we've got a rough banana shape. It's kind of okay. We kind of like it. So that's bridging edge loops with circles. And again, it's very important. I don't know the state of Blender today. So in the past, I've seen all iterations. So I've seen where you absolutely just could not bridge edge loops if they had differing numbers of vertices on each side. It like just wouldn't do it. And then at other times, at other points in history, I've seen that it would do it, but it would leave just some really weird geometry. Like it would take this and then pull it down to one that had, into a single point because didn't have as many points, and it ended up ugly. So I don't know I'm just going to do experiments. So let's do that. So this is banana. We like them, we think. I'm going to go ahead and experiment. So I'm going to make a circle here. That's 20. I'm going to leave him. And then I'm going to go ahead and make another circle with something totally random. We'll hit 7. Select them both. Control J to join. Tab to go to edit mode. 2 to go to edges. A to select all. Control E for edges. L for loops. Oh, I wasn't actually in the thing. There we go. And then L for loops. Okay, so current state of Blender is it will do it and basically say it's your fault it's ugly. I don't know which one I like better. I kind of liked for a little bit that it was like saving us from ourselves and being like, whoa, 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 we're not going to do that for you because that would produce something ugly. And I'm sure for a lot of people, they were like, I don't care, let me do what I want to do. So they got their way, and now we're back to this. So if you try to connect 20 edge loops to 7, you're going to end up with some really weird stuff. I still prefer to keep the numbers right and then kind of get better looking results. So we've got a banana, and we've got whatever this is, kill it, get it out of here. And then just to reiterate what we've been working on, I'm going to go ahead and hide my banana. And we'll start with a couple of cylinders this time. We'll do the same thing. We'll make a pencil. But these bridging edge loops are great for complex stuff, like if you're making like pipes that go from different shapes to each other, kind of like we saw with the banana. Bridging edge loops I've seen work great for someone's building an environment, and like so you know the big like overpass concrete weird shaped things that we drive on and don't think about, and we don't think about all the cars underneath us while we're on those. Those are all kind of laid out in some weird shape, and so you can use that and just get the outline and bridge those and make some really cool roads that way. So I've seen it for a lot of cool stuff. So we'll do a cylinder. We'll start it at, let me think, so a pencil 6-sided. So we'll do 27. No, that's not right. 30. So we'll do 30 here. This will be the top of it. And the radius is way too big. We'll scale it all down later. We don't care right now. So we've got our eraser top. I'll go ahead and add another one. So we'll do another cylinder with a slightly larger radius to be the metal part. We'll leave it that same height. So here's the metal part between it. Another cylinder. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this radius the same. I'm going to pull it down to 6 vertices. And we can fix that later. We can make it longer later. Something I said. All right, and then two more cylinders. All right, so I'll do another one. I'll add. Actually, this one I'll do a circle. Just need a single point. So we'll do a circle. We'll go back to 30 on that. Undo. I wanted control. So let me add the circle again. 30, and we want a full radius of 1. And so this will be down here toward the bottom. Hit Z and go to wireframe mode. Just set myself up here. So where's the circle I just made? There. Okay, so I want this circle to be like where the the nice rounded part of the pencil starts at the bottom because we've sharpened it. So I'm going to scale this down so that it fits inside our weird six-sided guy. Down there, and then I'm just going to use him and Control D, start moving him, hit Z, and it's going to come down here, and this will be the point. And so the very point of this will scale down. All right. And we'll move all this and make the pencil longer and do all this stuff in a little bit. So I think what I need to do now is I need to make sure that this six-sided bit of the pencil has the same 30 that we have around everything else. So I'm going to tab that, get these edges, manually grab all 6, and we'll bevel them. By some amount. Just a little bit. There we go. And we're going from 5 to 10 to 15 to this is probably too many. I think starting at 30 was too much. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5 is 25, so 6. So I need 5 segments, which gives me 6 vertices. All right, I need 4 segments. I'm still stuck on the banana. 4 segments, which gives me 5 vertices at all 6 points, which is 30. So that's going to work. All right. I'm going to start deleting some faces here. So I'll delete that. Delete that. Just getting ready to bridge all these when I join them. I could join them all first, I suppose. Delete that face. Delete that face. I think you can bridge edge loops with a cap on it. I think that'll still work. So this is just me forgetting that things changed over the years. Didn't used to be you could do that. All right, so I'm just going to grab that cap there, delete that. Now we've got all loops. Okay, so same thing. We've got a rough start. I'm going to go ahead and grab all the pieces. So we'll go to object mode and shift select, 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 select. Some of those are already together. Okay, cool. Control J to join them. And we just start joining. So tab back into edit mode and edges, let me get off the bevel. There we go. Alt click, shift alt click, Control E, L, and now we've connected those up. So there's where our eraser meets the metal part. Click this. This one, I definitely want to move it up. I guess let me just turn my snapping on. I'm going to move this up. So G along the Z up to this edge. And then it's just going to go, it's just going to fan out weirdly. And then shift and alt, click this edge loop, Control E, L. Yeah. It might be that that's a little big. Okay. All right, and now we want to actually start planning. So I'm going to move these down. So, G to grab, and then Z, and I'm just going to pull that down. We want a long pencil. Not brand new, but not like down to the nub either. What just happened? Oops. Some of those vertices stayed behind. All right. Alt click, shift alt click, get them both. The full things. All right, now I'll move it down. G and then Z. bearish. Do the same thing. So I'm going to alt click this edge loop, G, and then Z, and then I'm going to move that down to almost. We want to see some of this form. We don't want it to just like go in. We want to see a little bit of that where it meets up with this rounded form here. So move it down there. That looks good. Zoom in. Yeah, that looks kind of good. And then shift and alt click this. And same thing. So I'm going to do Control E and then L, and we bridge that. And then finally, alt click, shift alt click, get those guys, Control E, L, and then I'll leave it up to you whether you want to round the tip or like collapse that all in to be the sharpest pencil in the world. Zoom out and just see how the proportions look. Kind of looks like a pencil. Go ahead and auto smooth this. I think I want that a little longer, and then I'll round the tip. Find the tip. There we go. Just going to move that down, G and Z. Make it a little pointier. I'll hit F to fill it, and then Control B to bevel it. If I haven't let go of my bevel, as I hit the scroll wheel, I can get more segments, less segments. We'll round it up thusly. We can even now at this point go ahead and R on the X and just kind of give it a little more form. So then, you know, someone's definitely got a, they've been using that. Okay. The tip looks more like a crayon, and we're going to go with it. I think the only thing left to do is we could add some definition here, right? So, you know, on our number 2 pencils, we get all this like metal like going in and out, in and out. So we could add a bunch of segments here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to select edge rings, and then edge subdivide, up the number of cuts a bunch. And then what does that even look like? I know it's not an exact pattern. How do we model anything without Google image search? I have no idea. Is that just zoom in closer? So it's got some alternating ridges. There we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Oof. All right. So it's smoother in the middle and then a bunch of cuts. All right, we can do this. I'm going to undo this, and I'll make more cuts this time. So 2 edge rings, subdivide it, so edge subdivide, a bunch of cuts. So we'll do 8. Yeah, I think that gives me the amount I want. All right, now I'm going to come in here and alt click. So alt click, shift alt, alt. Do this. Is that going to work? No. We'll grab the top 4 and just move them up. So G and then Z. I'm just going to slide those up a little bit. Okay, undo that. I always forget that I have snapping on, so I want to just slide something a little bit, and it's like pop. All right, G, Z. I'm just going to slide that up a little bit. I'm trying to get that space in the middle. And Alt click these, and we're not going to be exact. Shift Alt click G, Z, come down. I'll grab all of them. And I think I could get away with beveling them, or can I just, I might just be able to extrude them. Try to extrude along normals. Doesn't want to have it. Okay, we'll do it this way. Bevel it first. And then we'll extrude it in. Why does it not want to go along normals? Went back to beveling. There we go. All right. Click the right tool. And then I'm just moving that in. Is this too high poly a pencil? Absolutely. Don't put this in your game. This is terrible. But for the kind of photographic rendering we've been doing, this works. And we'll just bevel the top of the eraser and make it look like someone's been using it. Let's grab that top, face, and we'll bevel it. If I can get the tool. There we go. Up the segments. Okay. For whatever reason, we have a pencil to go with our beautiful render of a fruit bowl. I don't know. Maybe someone's tracing their fruit. They're eating their fruit while they're working on an essay. No, they use laptops for that now. I don't know. But this also helped us understand kind of the bridging tools and things we can do. So we've got it all. So let's see what we got here. Probably everything's way out of scale, and so this is the worst thing ever. Yeah, this pencil is going to erase my entire scene. Pull that way down. It's still too large. And then basically what we need to do for the rest of this is set up something very similar to what we did with the donuts. So get good lighting. I loved the changing this to the sunlight that he did in the world tab. That was super awesome. Made some nice lights and shadows. Get nice lighting. Give me some fake backgrounds. I don't need the entire kitchen modeled, but for the render, the point of this one is kind of like the donuts. We're looking for one shot of all this fruit. So get a nice backdrop. Don't have any gaps in the background. Countertop, maybe this fruit bowl's in a car seat going down the road. I don't know. Whatever backdrop you want to do. But get a nice shot of everything, and there we go. Texture paint your fruit for sure, to give those nice organic things like we tried to do with the apple, and like they did with the donut on the side. That was kind of cool. So texture paint your fruit. Probably a glass bowl is cool because we can, and it'll up your rendering time, and it's just something cool we can do. And then countertop can be whatever the background you want, but get a nice shot of your fruit bowl. So that's where we're at. I'm not going to hold you much longer because Logan can't stay awake. It's okay. I was about to fall asleep too. All right. That's it for the video.